My hat! Right, so to reassemble, you just have to line up the holes in here. And let's see, there they are. So once they're lined up, you're just going to set the screws in the little pockets. You can go one by one or you can set them all forward. Now there's enough grease in here to where it will hold the screws. So I'm just going to grab this and just going to start screwing one inside, and then I'm going to go to the opposite side. So we'll have this one right here, and I'm not even going too close, but then I'm going to alternate and I'm going to go over here. Now if this were an engine, I would not be using this cotton fabric, and the reason why is because the lint can actually get in the cylinder and make a mess. So here we go, just going to keep on going. And you just want to get them close, and then you keep crossing. And now you can tighten everything together. Now, if you have a different method, go ahead and put it in the chat. How do you generally tighten these? All right, so we can continue. Let's just see if I add light. Well, it looks a little better. All right, so we just put the differential together, so now we're just going to drop it in. And if you need to grease it up just a little more, this is where you want to add a little more grease, and you just need regular black grease. It doesn't matter. If you use the stuff that already comes in other RCs, or if you have the black grease on the can. Now, I had already put some on here, but here, let me wipe some of it off, and then I'll apply some more, just so you can see. But on here, you just put some of them on the teeth, and you don't worry about getting it on all of them. I mean, if you just smear some there, for example, once you set this in, so this will go this way. As soon as you spin it, see how the pinion gear is spinning? The grease, let me remove it, see? It'll be on all the teeth. So that's really all you have to do. All right, here we go. Now we're going to close this, and this should just come together, shouldn't have to struggle. And now at this point, just going to grab the screws, stick them in here. And the only time you need a Phillips #1 is for the actual differential. For the other screws, a Phillips #2 should be the driver to use with almost every other screw here. All right, that works. So now at this point, I'm just going to wipe the collar just a little. Well, I'll just wipe it. And this here, so if you place it this way, or you flip it, it will actually change the distance. So one of the things that you're probably going to have to do just in case you forget, so let's just say you forget where it goes, well, just mount it. Grab the bulkhead on either side. So for example, here's the bulkhead. Place this and see if it fits. If it fits, you did it right. So this goes toward the front, it's here. let's just say I'd flipped it the other way. So now it's on backwards. And I tried installing this on the bulkhead. It's not going to seat. See, it's not falling in place. All right, so let's go ahead and mount this. So it's not a big deal. It really isn't. Now here, this is where you have to remember the following step. Remember, you took one of these little shafts out, one of these out. So you have to make sure you install it first, assuming the arms are installed. If the arms are not installed, these, then it doesn't matter. You can install it afterwards. But right now, the arms are not in. So we're going to go through and install this. And that is it. Perfect. So I can go ahead and just slide this in. Remember, this key's inside. I'm just spinning it. There we go. And that is it. Just sort of clicks on, and that is all you need to do. So now the next step is to just go ahead and install this one. The reason why I'm saying go ahead and install it is once you place the bulkhead, it's going to be more difficult to remove it, although that's what this groove is for. So don't worry if you accidentally put this one in place like that. Just turn it so it's facing here. See this little channel? And that's where you're going to drive the screw through. So I'm just going to do that to show you. I'll do it this way. But like I said, it's easier for you to do it before you install the bulkhead. So just line them up, drop it in, line up the hole, and you should be able to see how this will just slide right in here. Now again, I didn't have to do this since the bulkhead is not installed, but I figured I'd show you. There. Do not over tighten these at all, or else they're going to push out too far and it's going to be out of balance. You're going to mess something up. You will damage something. Now I can use these. These are the fine thread countersunk screws. There we go. Just, all right. Habits. There we go. All right. So bulkheads are actually somewhat, they're not that difficult to replace. You just have to remove many pieces. So if you're wondering, well, I'm not replacing them right now, well, I haven't picked up the ones that I want. That's the reason why. And I'm going to take it apart anyway, again. All right, here we go. And that is it. So now I just need to install the arms. I mean, I could install this if I wanted to right now, but I'm going to install the arms first. Now the arms, this was already assembled. So in the previous video, when I actually took it apart, I showed you that you were just going to grab your 2.5mm driver, right? And then this just screws off. So the arm just screws off here. That's all you do. You just turn. And then after that, you get an Allen wrench and this oppressor, this little set screw type of thing. This will come out this way, and then you can push that ball out. Now I've already assembled it. So this is all assembled, and I'm just going to slide this in. So I'll install the shaft first, and then I'll bring these to where they should go. And I'm going to do the lower first. So the lower, you're just going to set it here in those two little pockets. You're going to line it up. You're going to grab the short pin. Remember, you should have two pins, a long and a short. It's the shorter one. And you're just going to slide it through. And there we go. So now just need to apply a little more pressure so it actually locks in the rear. There it is. And these are, again, all right, that is it. Now, check these from time to time just to make sure they do not back out. So when you're running, just whenever you're fueling, check them. All right, now you grab the long pin and just goes through the top. You may have to wiggle it a little just to make it fit. There we go again. Let's see how many times I do that. All right, there we go. All right, it's good to me. And I'm actually going to install this part first, although I should not. Let me do the steering. And remember, these are keyed in, so there is just one flat side. So the flat side goes on the outside, so make sure these are lined up. If you do not line them up, you're going to damage this lower plate, which is, I mean, it's not too damaged, but the previous person that tried working on this did not install them correctly at first. Here we go. So now I'm going to install this here. Now, if any of you are planning on replacing the screws, this really would be the time to do it. I've just decided not to for this. Maybe once I take it apart and rebuild it again, I will. But for now, I'm not going to. And for example, this tie rod, whoever owned it first actually broke the tie rod, so this will have to be replaced. And that individual welded them together. So that's something else that you can do, right? If you cannot get a tie rod, so you can see the wells here. It's not perfectly straight, but that individual tried. So kudos there. It's a hobby. You will have to repair things. That's one thing too. Things will break. That's just what happens. And it's just going to come down to your willingness to fix it. Why this isn't sliding in. Oh, there it is. All right, 2mm. Yeah, when this vehicle came out, it was a hot vehicle to have. And then I remember the Emax came out, and when the Emax came out, oh, that was huge. And you had two brushed motors with an ESC that could handle two motors, and that was big. But now, Emax, I mean, you don't need those two type of motors, given the brushless systems that we have now. All right, so this one's going to go right here, just in there. So I'm just going to grab the screw, and I'm just going to drop it in. And it's this countersunk screw. So if you ever do replace screws, again, just go with hex set. Don't get these Phillips screws. I don't know why people replace screws with Phillips, to be honest. And one of the things that I'm noticing here is I should have done this without the arm. But anyway, doesn't matter. I managed. Would have been easier without the arm, or before screwing the bulkhead on. It's easier to attach those. But here we go. So we have this here, and the front end is almost complete. I am not going to, and I'll pick it up like this, so that's the front, it goes like this. I am not going to install the shocks at this time. I'm going to leave them to the end of the build so I can do all 8 of them at the same time. So that's the one thing I'm going to leave till the end. And the shocks are not crucial to, well, the order of the shocks is not crucial. So if I do them now or if I do them to the end, it will not matter. There we go. I also have to see if I can get the, I think I'm going to get the RPM bulkhead, but we'll see. Probably for now I'll just leave it as is, and then later on I may get it. Just, to be honest, those front bumpers break easily. They really do, which is one of the reasons why you should consider RPM. All right, so here we go. Now, just inspecting everything. So this turns good, this turns great. And if I turn this, both of them turn. So this is the center shaft. And everything feels good. It's the inside differential, I did grease that one up, so that one's good. So once I take it apart again, it'll just be just external cleaning. You can use different types of cleaners, for example, electronic cleaners, and clean some of that grease off and then just lube everything again. That is a possibility. Brake cleaner can work, but just don't get it on your hands, don't inhale it. Be very careful when you're working with that those substances. But we have this here, so that is it for the front. Now we can, I don't want to lose this, so I'm actually going to place it here. Now we're going to work on the rear. So I'm actually going to remove the rear, and then I'm just going to attach everything together. So next video, I'm going to take off the rear, and then after that, I'm going to work with everything in the chassis. And that's the order. So I'll be replacing the electronics then, and then I'll be attaching the front and rear components. So I'll catch you in the next one.